Good evening and welcome to CBS 7 News at 10. I'm Christopher Saul in tonight for Kira Powell. We start off tonight with breaking news out of West Odessa, where tonight EMS, fire, and sheriff's deputies have responded to an apparent multiple vehicle crash in West Odessa at the intersection of Highway 302 and Highway 866. CBS 7's Brianna Gallegos is on the scene right now. Brianna, what can you tell us?
Christopher, I am standing at the intersection of FM 866 and State Highway 302, where this is where the accident occurred. Just about 10 minutes ago, tow trucks did arrive on scene, and right now there is a detour for traffic coming westbound on 302, heading to FM 866. So far, the details that we do have is it was a two-vehicle crash. One person was killed, one person was ejected out of the vehicle, and one person has minor injuries. The person that was ejected out of the vehicle has serious injuries. As we receive more details, we will be updating our Facebook page as well as our website. Live in West Odessa, Brianna Gallegos, CBS 7 News.
Brianna, thank you. New details today on a story we've been following for you closely. Law enforcement officers arrested 18-year-old Edwin Rascon just outside of Austin as he tried to flee from authorities after the alleged murder of his ex-girlfriend's boyfriend, Carlos Martinez. According to a DPS report, Rascon took his one-year-old son without permission following that shooting, prompting an Amber Alert. Nearly 4 hours after the shooting, Texas Rangers say Rascon dropped off his toddler son with an unknown person at an Odessa Stripes.
His girlfriend has an ex, and he came over here and argued with them and shot him 5 times.
Police are not releasing the details of the arrest yet, but we'll keep you informed on our website, Facebook, and on our mobile app as information comes into the newsroom. A body was found in Monahans earlier today. Mayor David Cutbirth was able to confirm that body was found, but police are still investigating. The body was found in the 1500 block of South Fay. Monahans police confirm they are investigating the dead body, but say they cannot confirm whether or not foul play was involved. CBS 7 News spoke with neighbors who say the house where the body was found has been empty for several months. They say that an odor coming from the home is what led them to call police to investigate. Stay tuned as more details emerge. And CBS Albuquerque affiliate KRQE reports that a second convict who escaped police custody has been captured. Police confirmed Lionel Claw was caught in Albuquerque earlier today. Police received a tip that a suspicious man was inside an apartment in the city. The woman who lives in that apartment says she had been gone for several days and thought someone had entered her apartment. SWAT officers confirmed Claw was in the apartment, and after a short standoff, the fugitive surrendered to police. Lionel Claw escaped with fellow inmate Joseph Cruz Wednesday. Cruz was caught Friday after a short foot chase. The pair escaped after Cruz says they picked the locks on their handcuffs. Many young men return from war with invisible scars. Post-traumatic stress disorder can be common among war veterans, but they're not the only ones affected by this disorder. CBS 7's Brianna Gallegos has the story.
So there's a large group of people that I feel are without any help with PTSD.
Former Howard County Sheriff Dale Walker is one of those people. Walker says he suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder, and finding ways to cope like group therapy has been difficult considering he isn't a veteran.
It's been a very big struggle for me personally. I suffer from it and I suffer from it quite frequently.
Walker worked in law enforcement for 25 years and says he has seen things not everyone can imagine, and that's where his PTSD resonates.
Sometimes it's still really hard. I mean, when something triggers it, and you don't always understand because people have different ways of showing or dealing with an episode.
Walker has seen doctors who strongly recommend group therapy, but that isn't an option, he says, that is available in Big Spring. So now he's taking matters into his own hands, and not only for himself, but to help others who can relate.
I was ashamed, embarrassed by it, but through some therapy that I've had, I've learned to overcome it and not be afraid of it, to face it.
According to mentalhealthamerica.net, anyone can suffer from PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder is an anxiety disorder that can occur following the experience or witnessing of a traumatic event. A traumatic event is a life-threatening event such as military combat, natural disasters, terrorist incidents, serious accidents, or physical or sexual assault in an adult or a child. End quote.
Terrible mental issue. and it has such a bad connotation that people think that, you know, oh, you've got PTSD, oh, you're crazy, you know, it's mental health. But it's not that. It's a very serious issue that needs to be dealt with and dealt with properly.
Reporting for CBS 7 News, Brianna Gallegos.
Brianna, thank you for that report out of Big Spring. Now, it was pretty nice today, and I hope that it will continue, of course, tomorrow. Weather Authority Tom Tefertiller joins us now from the Weather Center. Tom, what's it going to look like?
Well, Chris, we are going to be looking at some relatively quiet conditions overnight, maybe a little bit of breeze, but overall looking pretty good coming up on your Sunday. We did see a warm and breezy day out there, and temperatures still on the mild side, mid-60s out across the Permian Basin. A little cooler in Big Spring there at 58 and 61 in Fort Stockton. Wind is starting to calm down out of the west and southwest, and all the advisories that we did have for wind, even high wind warnings out across the Guadalupe, those have been canceled for the time being, as we are seeing the strongest winds well off to the west. Seeing some gusts up to 39 right now in Carlsbad, 36 out towards Guadalupe Mountains National Park, even some gusts up to 31 in Alpine. So a little bit of breeze hanging around in the forecast overnight tonight with the generally clear skies all the way through the early morning hours. Bottoming out, it looks like temperature-wise into the mid to upper 40s overnight tonight. But a great looking day on the way for Sunday with some warmer temperatures and just a hint of wind out there across the area. How long will all that last? We'll look at that 7-day forecast here, get you up to date into next week in just a couple of minutes.
All right, thank you, Tom. And now for some oil talk here in the Permian Basin. We begin with a look at oil rig numbers here in the U.S. This week, the United States has hit the lowest number of rigs since record began being kept. According to Baker Hughes, a total of 578 rigs continue to operate around the country, less than half of the 1,345 rigs producing oil this time last year. Of those rigs, nearly 1 in 6 are located right here in the Permian Basin. 104 rigs continue to operate in our area. That's 3 less from last week. Rig counts may be down, but it's not all gloom and doom from the oil industry. Oil closed at $35 on Friday, the highest closing price for 2016. Experts told CBS 7 News last week the rally in oil prices means the slump is at the beginning of its end, and we could see a full recovery by next year. Big Spring sales tax took a big hit in the month of February. The Convention Center and Visitors Bureau for the city reports a drop of more than $100,000 for the month of February. In 2015, the city brought in around $750,000 for February. This year, though, the city reported about $615,000. In addition to those lower sales tax numbers, the Bureau reported higher unemployment numbers in the city. The Howard County Commissioners will meet this Monday. There are several items on the agenda to discuss. Among them is a possible action on a $500,000 bond for a CGG to do seismic work on roads in the area. Also, the Commissioners will be presenting a pilot program which would change the hours field work crews work. The program aims to make road and bridge crews more productive. The program, though, won't modify office hours for those employees who will still work 40 hours a week. Orlando Contreras, a Seminole man, died of his injuries he sustained when his Honda 100 dirt bike left the road and hit a metal pipe. It all happened about 5 miles south of Seminole on County Road 301K. According to the Department of Public Safety, Contreras lost control of his bike on a turn. He was taken to Seminole Memorial Hospital where he died of his injuries. The Big Spring Rotary Club geared up to finish off one of the most deadly diseases on earth this evening. Their annual event, Pints for Polio, helps to raise money to inoculate at-risk children. Since Rotary International made their mission to eliminate polio from the world's children in the early 1980s, annual cases have dropped from 360,000 to just five total. But the club's work isn't done just yet.
It feels like we're getting close. We estimate that we will be declared polio-free in 2020.
That's great news. Scott estimates the $3,000 they'll try to raise tonight will be able to inoculate 30,000 children. Stormtroopers, Karate Kids displayed their moves at the first annual Spar Wars at the Grand Texan Hotel in Midland today. Spectators packed the hotel's Villa Conference Center to watch the spectacle. The martial artists showed off their moves and fought practice bouts against some of the toughest and smallest competition in the galaxy. Over 300 competitors took part, the youngest fighters at about 3 years of age. But for the organizers, watching the youngsters compete made their day, win or lose.
My favorite part is watching people grow. If you don't compete, you never get to experience the emotions that competitors get to deal with.
Well, organizers considered the event a success, saying they were glad the top Texas talent came out to compete out west. The Stars Theater announced that on their Facebook page, Rooster McConaughey and his buddies will share their stories and give a few lucky audience members a chance to pitch their ideas as well. Tickets cost between $27 and $57. For more information, log on to Wagner Noel's website, wagnernoel.com. And do you live in Odessa and have old-fashioned furniture, you just have to get rid of? Good news. Odessa's Bulky Item Recycling Day is next Saturday. To get rid of those old sofas, tables, appliances, televisions, computers, or anything else that just won't fit in the dumpster, you'll have to take it to the Odessa Recycling Center on West 42nd Street. If you can't make it this coming weekend, your next chance to drop off all those unwanted items is April 2nd. You could be the lucky winner of free tickets to the 51st Academy of Country Music Awards. The Country Music Awards is kicking off April 3rd in Las Vegas. The show is being hosted by Luke Bryant and Dierks Bentley. All you have to do is tune in to Kix 99.1 and listen for the ACM Vegas Sounder. Still ahead tonight on CBS 7 News at 10, we'll tell you how a community in Texas is preparing for what could be a disastrous flood. But first,